As we've already seen so far in only 3 episodes, any TV season will have its highs and lows. Suitable for Framing is the highest of highs. An old man plays piano. A younger man walks in, checks his watch, and pulls out a gun. Now that's how you start a story. And from then on, Suitable for Framing never lets up. Columbo clashed with Cassidy and Culpin. They were great, but he's never been up against someone so smarmy, so sneeringly snobbish as Ross Martin's Dale Kingston.
Any good?
For wallpaper in a child's room, absolutely perfect. In fact, looks like it might have been done by an untalented 12-year-old.
As the most pompous of pretentious art critics, he's willing to kill his dear old uncle in order to get his hands on the old man's priceless art collection.
When you take the W off of Wart, you are still left with art. And Goya was the penultimate artist.
His scheme involves having a female accomplice keep the body warm with an electric blanket to establish a false time of death, while meanwhile Dale is schmoozing it up at a local art gallery. Columbo ought to arrest him for laughing at his own terrible jokes.
I suppose the relationship between the pieces is really where it's at, isn't it?
Speaking of Columbo, like a lot of these early episodes, he's a lot more direct in his approach here. He never outright says it, but it's obvious right away that he suspects Kingston, and even Kingston himself picks up on it.
So that if Mr. Matthews was killed at 11 o'clock, then you sure didn't do it.
Now, isn't that a shame, Lieutenant? And here I am, your best and most obvious suspect, too.
But I suppose this is necessary because of the fun way the episode is structured. We, like Columbo, assume that dastardly Dale has murdered his uncle so as to inherit his art collection.
That's what I thought.
So then, we too, along with Columbo, are surprised to learn that Uncle Rudy has left all of his paintings to Kim Hunter from Planet of the Apes.
All it means is that I'll now be able to criticize your collection like I used to criticize his.
In addition to Hunter, you may have also spotted Don Amici among the supporting cast there as lawyer Frank Simpson. Like Ray Milland, he does a great job at bringing a lot of nuance and depth to what could have been a thankless bit part. And hey, anytime Don Amici graces your production is a thumbs up from me.
That's correct.
And hey, did I mention that Kingston's accomplice is played by Richard Levison's wife?
Sometimes I think my talent isn't what you like best about me.
Well, it's a combination of things, my love.
I could take a pretty decent guess as to what those couple of things are.
When will I?
Lots of fun transitions in this episode too. I'd say this is the first episode to really hit a perfect balance between conveying a serious story and humor.
Please, sir. Mr. Matthews was very fussy about smoking.
Oh, sorry.
There's a major overriding sense of fun here, and not just from watching the interactions between Columbo and Kingston, but from Columbo's interactions with all the rest of the cast, including not being able to get a word in with the talkative Aunt Edna, his embarrassment at walking in on a naked painting in progress, and his hilarious encounter with a nosy landlady.
Oh, there's Cindy Lou. That's my cousin's kid. She's named for me. Look at her. That's at Grauman's Chinese. She's trying to fit her feet into the, the things in the concrete. That's awful cute. I made her that dress. Doesn't it look nice? It's smocking.
Can you see?
Oh, well, let's see now.
Nice to see Columbo get a taste of his own medicine for once.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But we can't talk about how great Suitable for Framing is without talking about the ending. If you haven't seen this one yet, do yourself a favor and check it out. That's my bottom line. This is one you really don't want spoiled. To summarize, Kingston's true plan is to frame Aunt Edna for his uncle's murder by planting stolen paintings in her home for the police to find. Therefore, she will be arrested and he will finally inherit the collection. But Columbo, as usual, is a few steps ahead of him. And, well, I'll just let the episode speak for itself here.
So if Mrs. Matthews is convicted, you're next in line. Everything goes to you. That's why you planted the gun. And that's why you planted these paintings.
Suppose you prove it.
Do you remember the time that I was in your apartment and you came in with some paintings and you said that they were watercolors and you wanted to evaluate them? And remember, I wanted to see them and you wouldn't let me? And I even touched them.
You touched...
Now, if Mrs. Matthews is guilty, How could my fingerprints get on paintings that she stole?
You touched those paintings just now while I wasn't looking. You saw him do it, didn't you? You put your prints on those paintings while you were bent over watching them when they were working on it. He touched them. You.
What more needs to be said?
What?
Not only is that such a brilliant central clue, the fingerprints not of the suspect but of the policeman being what does Kingston in, but it's executed so perfectly. The way Slimy Dale goes from being on top of the situation to starting to sweat a little, to lip quivering fear, to being stunned into shattered silence is fantastically portrayed by Russ Martin, who has been so good at being so unlikable throughout the whole episode that it's almost impossible not to jump up and punch the air when the gloves come out. Often imitated but never quite topped, the ending to Suitable for Framing is the greatest Columbo gotcha moment of them all, which pretty much makes it the greatest Columbo moment ever, which in turn makes it one of the very best TV moments of all time. Yes, it's that good.
What about it?
Hi Averback, Jackson Gillis, give yourselves a pat on the back. Murder by the Book was a sensational start to the series, but Suitable for Framing is nothing short of a masterpiece. Without hyperbole, it's pretty much bloody perfect in terms of its writing, directing, pacing, and acting.
What are you doing, Colleen? I told you not to call for a whole week.
I know, but I was worried.
That's just free-floating anxiety, dear. Now relax. Everything's going just... I'm terribly sorry. No, I simply don't have time.
This is the gold standard towards which every subsequent Columbo episode aspired. But fear not, dear viewer, that doesn't mean it's all downhill from here. Of course not all episodes could reach such spectacular heights, but some could. And the point of this guide is to find out which episodes those are. So sit back, light up a cigar, and get comfortable. We've a long way to go yet.
Do come back soon.